Hello, welcome to the first subject, human resource management. All the topics that we are going to cover in this entire subject are mentioned here for your reference, and all the topics that we are going to discuss in today's class in particular are also mentioned here for your reference. Now let's get into the class. So we have just seen all the topics that we are about to discuss in today's class, right? So let's start by understanding the term human resource management. Now, what do we mean by human resource management? What do we mean by, when someone says he is good in managing with something, or he is good in managing people, or he is good in managing money? What do we mean there when we say he is good in managing something? See, I will give you a simple example. See, for example, when I say that this particular cricket coach is good in managing the team, or when I say that this particular football coach is good in managing the team, what do I mean? That means, when someone says that, this particular cricket coach is very good in managing the team, means what does it, convey? It generally conveys that that particular coach is good in utilizing each and every member in the team in an efficient and effective manner, right? That is the point, right? Similarly, when we talk about human resource management, we are talking about how to utilize the human resource in an organization in an efficient and effective manner. Now, what is the difference between, or what is the meaning of efficient and effective? If anyone has confusion, let me clear you. Efficiency efficiency the term efficiency means, more output with less wastage. That's why, whenever you see an advertisement of an automobile, that means for a car or a bike, they'll say that, this is a fuel efficient car, this is a fuel efficient bike. That means they are basically conveying you, telling that you can travel more distance with less fuel. When they say that, this is a fuel efficient car or fuel efficient bike, so that is basically efficiency. Now when we talk about effectiveness, effectiveness means doing things in a right way. That means, see, if I give you a target of production of 100 units of mobiles, and you have produced 100 units of mobiles, that means I will tell that you are an effective person. That means, see, in simple terms, effective means completing the targets as they have to be. Efficient means, more output with less wastage using the same resources. That is basically the difference between effectiveness and efficiency. So here we are actually, when we talk about the term human resource management, we are actually talking about utilization of the human resource in an organization in an efficient and effective manner. Okay, now till now we have seen only the basic, basic explanation of the term human resource management, or we have just seen a basic, meaning or basic explanation of what do we mean by human resource management in an organization, right? Now let's move to a clear definition, clear cut, the actual definition of the term human resource management, which you have to give whenever, this particular question of what do you mean by human resource management is asked in an interview or an examination. See, when this question is asked to you, telling that, when someone randomly asks you telling that, what do you mean by human resource management, you can just tell them that, human resource management means, utilization of human resource in an organization in an effective and efficient manner. That's it, simple. You can just give them that. But when this particular, the same particular question is asked in an interview, or when it is asked in an examination, a written examination, in a, basically, like, in your MBA finals, or in a BBA and all this, then you are expected to give a more detailed descriptive definition of this term human resource management. Now we will, in the further part of this video, we will be looking at that particular detailed, clear cut definition of the term human resource management. But before that, let me give you a, real life scenario example of, human resource management, the definition, so that, if you keep this example in your mind, and when you move to the definition, you will understand the definition in a better way. Otherwise, the whole definition will be filled with a lot of different components, and you will get confused. So let's start with the example for the definition of human resource management. Okay, now let us assume that you want to, start a startup, or you want to basically start your own company, right? There are so many different components that you have to look after before starting a company, right? That means you have to look after the finances, you have to look after, the sales, the operations, the productions. You also have to look after the human resource aspect. In this way, when you want to start an organization, you look after, there are so many different components that you have to look after, right? Now let's consider the human resource aspect only. That means, leave all the finances, how are you going to bring in the investments and all, leave all that. Let's concentrate on the human resource aspect that you have to look after when you want to start an organization, right? Now see, what are the different things in this human resource aspect that you do when you are about to start an organization. This is just an example. Okay, now think, what are the different things that you will do in human resource aspect before starting an organization. First of all, you will be planning, right? Telling that, okay, how many, how much of the workforce should I need, or how much of the workforce will I need. How many managers do I need, how many assistant managers do I need, how many sales guys do I need, how many marketing guys do I need, how many finance people I need, how many operations people I need. In this way, based on your organization, you will be looking after your human resource needs, right? So let's assume that you have looked after all the needs. You did a clear cut analysis, and you basically planned for the workforce in your organization, right? Now what is the next thing that you do? The next thing that you do is to try and fill the positions that you just got in your planning, right? That means, when you did the analysis of how much, estimated workforce do I need and all these things, you will be coming to an objective, or you will be coming to a conclusion telling that, okay, I will be needing these many human resource people, these many accountants, these many salesmen. In this way, you will be having a clear cut requirement. It may be actual, approximate, or it may be accurate, it may be an estimated one, but you will be having an idea, right, about the requirement related to workforce, human resource, right? Now next, what you'll do, you will be trying to fill in that workforce. That means next you will be trying to bring in those, those many number of workforce in that organization, right? Now you do so many different things, in order to bring these, required workmen, or required employers, or basically required workforce into your organization. First thing, you did planning. Next thing, you're trying to fill in the, all the positions that you got in your planning. Now in order to fill in, you do so many different things. You do recruitment. That means, see, for example, if you want some, if you want like 10 to 15 IT guys, you can't just tell that I will go into the market and I will pick 15 members IT guys, and I'll just place in my organization. No, you can't just tell that. You don't actually do that. So first of all, what you do, you start the recruitment, where you give out certain job advertisements, or you give out your requirements, saying that I am looking for these many people with this qualification or this experience and all these things. You release something out, right? So basically here what you're doing, out of the entire available candidates in the market, or out of the entire pool of resources in the market of the workforce, you are basically trying to pick out or shortlist all the candidates who think they are eligible to your organization. Now these people think that they are eligible to your organization based on the requirement that you have released. Now they will come to your organization. Next, what you'll do, now all these people think that, okay, I am eligible for this organization according to the criteria this organization has released. In this way, they have perceived and they approached your organization. Now you, among all the people that approach to your organization, you select the people that you think, that this time you think, who are suitable to your organization's requirements and all these things, right? So basically, first you're planning. Second thing, you are trying to fill in the all the workforce requirements. So basically, you started the recruitment, where you gave out certain advertisements, or whatever you did. You basically tried to reduce the size of the pool into a smaller one, and they you basically tried to attract them to your organization. And once they came to your organization, what you did, you picked out, you selected certain people, from that, people who approached your organization, you selected, and rest of the people you rejected. Now once you selected the people, you place them in their respective roles, right? Okay, this is the next thing that you do: planning, recruiting, selecting, placing, right? You placed. Now see, what generally happens in an organization, there are certain things that are done before the employee actually starts his work. They are induction and orientation. That means, see, in simple terms, introduction happens, right? Okay, now again, coming from the starting, you did your planning, and based on your planning, you started your recruitment. You selected the people that you think are suitable, you place them in their respective roles. Next, the introduction part comes. Next comes, two things called as induction and orientation. Induction is where you introduce to the new joinee, or you introduce to the new person his employer. That means you introduce the company for which he is about to work for. You introduce that to the employee. That means, you take him to the conference room and tell that, you play a PPT telling that, this is our organization, and these are all the different divisions. In this division this work happens, in that division that work happens. In this way, you are basically introducing the organization to this particular employee, right? That is basically induction. Now next you give orientation, where you introduce the introduce the work surroundings to the employee. That means you are actually introducing, you are actually making the employee, the new joinee, familiar with the work environment, where what all happens, you take this new joinee to the department and tell that, everyone listen, he is the new employee here, he is going to work with us from today and all these things. And you also tell him that, okay, this is going to be your workplace, and if you need anything, you go to that division. These are the rules in our organization, you have to follow them. And if you need something, you go to that division, this division, in each division this work happens in this way. You are basically making the employee familiar with the work environment that he is about to work in, right? So this happens. Now what happens after this? Generally, training is given. For example, let's take a simple scenario of software companies nowadays. When a new employee, gets a job in a software company, first and foremost thing they do is training, right? So what happens in the next step? Again, just for the reference, we started with planning, we did recruitment, we selected, we placed, we did the introductory part where we talked about induction and orientation. Next we are talking about training and development in the, in the parallel way. Then we'll also be looking after the compensation, the salary part, the benefits, incentives and all these things. And we'll also be looking after, if the employee is feeling satisfied, if the employee is being motivated, or if the employee is, is facing any grievance or any problem, you also have to look into that matter, right? And you also have to look into the relations part, right? That means, is the employee being able to, cope up with each and everyone? That means, are the good relations being maintained in the organization? Are managers good to the, so subordinates? Are subordinates having a good relationship with the superiors? In this way, you're also trying to maintain the relations in your organization, right? You also look after, the legal compliance, right? That means there are so many laws in the country that you have to follow if you are running an organization, right? So you also have to look after them, right? So in this way, if you want to start an organization in human resource aspect, you do so many different things. Now if you take all these different things that we have discussed till now, and if you just combine them, and if you just put them into a detailed, explanation, that is basically the definition of human resource management that we are about to talk. So this is the reason why I have started with an explanation for the definition of human resource management. You understood this, general scenario, right? In this example, you generally are you generally are about to start an organization. So there are so many different things that you look after in order to start an organization. But we told that let's just concentrate on the human resource aspect. That means, what are the different things that we do, related to human resource while starting an organization. So we told that first and foremost thing, you plan for the workforce, then you recruit them, then you select them out of all the candidates, then you place them, then the introductory part, that means induction and orientation, takes place. Then training and development, we look after their training and development, we look after their compensation and benefits part, we look after their motivational aspects, we look after the, proper relations being maintained or not in our organization. And we also look after, certain things like, health, safety, welfare. That means we are also looking after the legal aspects, legal compliance part, right? So these are the different things that we do in human resource aspect, right? So now let's look at the definition, and after looking at the definition, you can simply get the definition, because all these things put into a clear cut explanation is the definition of human resource management that, anyone expects from you if that particular question is asked in an interview or an examination. Now let's move to the definition. So the first unit, introduction to human resource management, right? So the definition, okay, the definition of human resource management. Human resource management is defined as the process of, it is generally a process which goes on in a step-by-step manner, okay? Now human resource management is defined as a process of planning, recruiting, selecting, inducting employees and providing orientation, the introductory part, imparting training and development, right? Appraising the performance of the employees, that means looking after their performance, deciding compensation and benefits, motivating employees, maintaining proper relations with the employees and their trade unions and all those things, that means looking after the proper relations part, ensuring employee safety, health and welfare measures in compliance with the labor laws of the land. So this is the reason why I have given you that big, the explanation regarding to the definition of human resource management. So now if you want to remember this, this big definition of human resource management, just take the example of what if I want to start an organization, what are the different things that I do? Just just try to find the answer to that question in human resource aspect. You will actually come out with a clear cut definition of this term human resource management without even thinking, will I go in order or will I not go in order. you know just remember that, what do I want, what should I do if I want to start an organization in human resource aspect, gives you the human resource management definition. Now let's move on to the second important concept, second important question. The first question was, what do you mean by human resource management? The second thing is, why human resource management separately, or what is the importance of this subject, human resource management. Now we are going to discuss what is the need for this subject, what is the importance of this subject, or why is there a need for a separate subject called as human resource management. Let's discuss in that aspect. When we were talking about the definition of human resource management, we talked about so many different things that we do in order to manage the human resource, right? In the definition only, all the things are present. What are the different things that are there in the definition? There are so many different things, like maintaining proper relations between employees, employers, the trade unions, and all these things, right? Now for this thing, you have a separate subject called as industrial relations. Now leave that. In the definition only, we also talked that human in while defining the human resource management, you also take care of the health, welfare, safety measures, or you also take care of the the particular labor laws compliance, right? Now see, for this particular thing, you have a separate subject called as labor laws. Okay. Now we also told that imparting training and development is also a part of human resource management, right? For this particular aspect, you have a separate subject called as human resource development. Now we also take that motivational levels and all. For that particular thing, we have a separate subject called as organizational behavior. We talked that in the definition of human resource management, we also talked that dealing with the compensation and benefits of the employees. For that particular aspect, we have a separate subject called as compensation management. Now I just gave you different concepts and told that for each and everything we have a separate subject, and for each and everything, if we did not have a separate subject, we had a separate textbook where you can refer and all these things, right? Now to answer the question, why again a separate subject, see, each and every subject that I just told you, or each and every concept that I told you, telling that in the definition, all these these are all the things that we do. Each and every concept, or each and every that particular topic, or each and every that particular subject or textbook moves towards or aims towards a single thing, which is managing the human resource in an organization. So all these different things aim at a single thing, managing the human resource, human resource in an organization. But each of them try to teach us or try to guide us in managing the human resource in an organization in different point of views, in different perspectives. That means this particular subject called as compensation management helps us to manage the human resource in an organization in compensation point of view. This particular subject, or this particular concept of human resource development, this also helps us to manage the human resource in an organization in development point of view. This particular labor law subject also helps us to manage the human resource in an organization in legal compliance point of view. In this way, all these different subjects which are related to you, which come in the definition of human resource management, basically move or point towards the same thing. Now this particular subject is the right human resource management. This particular subject acts as a superset to all those subjects. That means, see, these different components, we know that all these different components or different subjects aim at a single thing, that is managing the employees in an organization. But there is this particular subject called as human resource management, which gives us the linkage between all these components. That means this particular subject of human resource management shows us the connection or the interlinkage between each and every concept. That means, that's why, see, in the definition, that's why we told that in order to manage the human resource in an organization in effective and efficient manner, you do all these things. That is the basic definition that we discussed, right? In definition, we discussed so many different things, right? Now here we are telling that, see, even though each and every concept or each and every thing that we have, each and every aspect that we have discussed in the definition, have different dedicated subjects or different dedicated textbooks for each of them. This particular subject of human resource management gives you the connection between each and every component, telling that, see, each and every component concentrates on their specific area of interest or area of focus, but all of them are interlinked. All of them aim at managing the human resource in an organization, and I will give you that particular chain of link. That is the main objective, or that is the main purpose of the subject, human resource management. See, still if you are confused, human resource management subject is like the solar system, okay? And each of the different components, that means compensation management, labor laws, industrial relations, organizational behavior, compensation management. In this way, all the subjects, different subjects are there, right? All these different subjects aim at single thing, managing the employees in different aspects. Compensation management, helps to manage in compensation point of view. Labor laws helps to manage human resource in legal compliance point of view. In this way, there are different subjects which help to manage the human resource in an organization, right? They are like the planets in the solar system, where this particular human resource management subject is like the solar system, and each of the component, each of the planet is like each of the subject here. So this particular solar system gives you, when we talk about solar system, we tell that yes, there is this solar system. In that solar system there are different planets and all, right? So this particular human resource management subject is also like that only. This acts as a superset. That means this gives you a linkage, a connection between each and every other subject or each and every other concept that moves towards managing the employees in an organization, or managing the employers or workmen, workforce, basically managing the human resource in an organization. That is why we study this subject of human resource management separately. Okay, now let's move on to the next concept in today's class. So why human resource management separately? We just had a discussion telling that human resource management subject is the superset of all the subjects relating to management of employees. See, that is the thing with this subject. When someone asks you what do you mean by human resource management, you can just simply tell that management of human resource in an organization in an effective, efficient manner. Or when someone asks you telling that why do we need to have a separate subject of human resource management, then you can simply tell them that human resource management subject is like the superset of all the other subjects. So we need to have a separate subject so that we could find the interlinkage, or so that it would give the connection between all these things. Just you can end it there. But as per the discussion that we had till now, we can tell that in the background there is so much information that we discuss. But when we try to communicate to other people, we can just if you want to end the definition of human resource management, or why do we need to separate HRM, separate HRM subject, then you can actually end the conversation in a single line. But if you want to, that's what I was telling in the in the starting. If these kind of questions are asked in your examinations or in interviews, you have to give them detailed explanation. Okay, so now let's move on to the next concept, which is induction and orientation. While discussing the definition of human resource management, we discussed this particular thing, right? What do we mean by induction and what do we mean by orientation? We discussed that both of them relate to introduction only. Okay, both of them are similar, they are not the same. Most of the people get confused. They are they are similar but not the same. Let's look at each of them in detail. Now see, induction. Induction refers to the process of introducing a newcomer to his employer or the company and work environment. Okay, so basically simply an introduction with who you are going to work for. Okay, it includes company overview, like the mission, vision, values, history, objectives and clients, business verticals, management team, hierarchy, policies, dress code, business conduct guidelines, joining and statutory forms, etc. So generally in real life, in general, normally what happens is when a new employee is joined in an organization, they as a part of this induction program, what they'll do is they'll take all the newcomers to a conference hall, and they'll just play a PPT telling that this is our company. From now on, you are the part of this company. Our mission is this, our vision is this, our values are this, our beliefs are this. So you have to follow all this mission, vision. You have to respect all them, and these are the rules and regulations that have to be followed in our organization in general. And all these things you tell that these are our clients, these are our verticals, these are our divisions. We have these many branches in the country, and all these things they will be in explaining to you. So basically, they are introducing the company that you are about to work for to you. That is basically induction. Now orientation. Orientation, on the other hand, is a well designed program which aims at reorganizing a new employee and making him accustomed to his department, to his job role and the work culture. That means in orientation we are basically trying to introduce the employee the place that he is about to. That means, see, our basic aim in orientation is to reduce the discomfort to the employee. That means, see, in order to make the newcomer feel home, feel satisfied, or feel comfortable, you basically use this orientation thing. Okay, now simply, in simple terms, aligning with job role and responsibilities and work culture. Okay, now It includes, that means this orientation program in different, see, first of all, this orient different organizations provide induction orientation as per their, as per their own rules, as per their own policies and all these things. That means, the style of, providing this induction and orientation may vary from organization to organization, that you have to keep in mind. Now, it includes, this orientation program includes multiple learning methods like presentation and videos. That means, in order to provide orientation, some organizations use presentations and videos. They can also use information sessions, online learning, workplace tour, and formal meetings with the teams and departments, information of procedures and processes, information of work assignments, job, clients, introduction to team members and key contacts, information about employment terms and conditions. Now, you don't need to remember all these things. This is just basically for your reference, telling that, okay, this is orientation. This is how orientation looks like. This is what happens in orientation. These are the different things that can be used in order to provide orientation, and different organizations provide this induction and orientation in their own way. Okay, now see, let's talk about another concept called as human capital. Now, this human capital is a very huge concept, but we are just giving you the basic meaning of human capital. What do you mean by human capital? Now, see, the most important components relating to any human resource in an organization are generally, the knowledge, the skills, the capabilities, the abilities, the potential, and all these things, right? Now, see, when you try to assign an economic value to all the knowledge, skills, capabilities of the human resource in an organization, it is termed as human capital. Now, this may be complicated, but try to understand this. See, for example, if I give you an item, for example, I gave you a diamond, and I told you that, try to fix a value to this. What you will generally say? You will say that, okay, if I want to fix a particular value to this, I will fix like 50 lakhs or 1 crore rupees and all these things, right? Similarly, if I give you the knowledge, the skills, and the capabilities of all the employees in my organization, if I provide you that information in your, or basically if I keep that information in your hand and ask you, telling that, this is basically the knowledge of all my employees in an organization. Now, this is basically the skills of all my employees in the organization, and this is basically the capabilities of all the employees in my organization. I calculated all the knowledge part of the employees in my organization, and the skills part, the capabilities part, and I just put it in your hand, telling that, try to fix a value to that. Now, the value, the economic value that is fixed to all the knowledge, skills, and capabilities of the human resource in an organization is termed as human capital. Now, human capital can be converted into one of the core competencies of an organization. Now, what do you mean by core competencies? We will be discussing later. That means, in simple terms, like a strength. Okay, like a strength, not strength, but like a strength. So basically, the human capital can be one of the, one of the strongest core competencies, or one of the strongest points of organizations. Now, this is basically, I have just given you the introductory part of this human capital. Okay, we are not going in depth because that is a very huge topic. We may be discussing in further subjects. Now, this is the basic meaning of human capital. Now, let's move on to the next concept, which is called as the scope of human resource management. Before directly entering into this topic, telling that, the scope of human resource management is this, that, and all these things, you need to understand the meaning of the term scope of human resource management. That means, when I'm asking you the question, what do you mean by the scope of human resource management, that means I'm basically asking you the question of, what are the different areas, or what are the different aspects which come under the coverage of the subject human resource management. So basically, when someone comes to you and tells that, or basically asks you, telling that what is the scope of this particular thing, that means he is indirectly asking you what are the different things that come under the coverage of that particular thing. Here, when I tell that scope of human resource management, that means here we are about to discuss all the components or all the areas which come under the coverage of human resource management, or which are basically a part of human resource management, a part of functions of human resource management. So each and everything that comes under the coverage of human resource management, that is basically the meaning of the term scope of human resource management. So before directly entering into the concept of scope of human resource management, you need to understand the meaning of the term scope. Now, see, if you have understood the definition of this particular term human resource management well, you can basically just in a simple terms give answer to this question, what is the scope of human resource management. So see, basically, when we are talking about the scope of the subject human resource management, we can tell that, see, human resource management has its coverage on so many different components or so many different dimensions. For example, let's take the first dimension, which is acquisition. Now see, in the definition, while discussing the definition of the term human resource management, we talked about so all the things that we are going to do while acquiring human resource in an organization. Now I'm telling you, keep this point strictly in your mind. While before explaining the meaning of the word human resource management, I took an example in which you were about to start an organization. That is not the case in all the all the situations. Now you can tell that so human resource management definition comes into picture only if there is a possibility of starting a new organization. No, basically I just gave you that example just so that you could understand in a clear way. So basically that particular human resource management definition that we discussed had all the things related to human resource management. So just for your basic understanding, I gave you an example of new organization. So basically, even though if the organization is very old and it's not a new organization that you are about to start, even though if the organization is very old with all the members working from it initially and you just went in as a HR manager, so in that scenario also you will do only those things that we have discussed in the definition. So just for your simple understanding, I took the example of starting a new organization. Okay. Now coming back to this topic of scope of human resource management. Now this scope of human resource management, or the the subject human resource management, has its coverage or has its spread on different components or dimensions, and each of the components and dimensions have sub components or sub dimensions. Now the first component that comes under the coverage of human resource management, or the first component that this particular subject of human resource management has its coverage on, is acquisition. Now in the definition part, we have talked about so many different components, right? Those components only you will again be seeing here. Now see, we have this acquisition component. That means this acquisition dimension comes under human resource management. Now within acquisition, we have so many different things, like in the process of acquiring human resource in the organization, we do so many different things, like you do human resource planning, we do recruitment, we do selection, we do placement. In the definition we discussed, right? That is the first component. Now the second component is, or the second area or the second dimension, anything you can say, that comes under the scope of human resource management, or that comes under the coverage of human resource management, or that are basically the parts of human resource management, is development. Okay. Now what are the different things that happen in development aspect, or what, if you consider the component of development, or if you consider the dimension of development, what are the different sub components, or what are the different sub dimensions in development? While talking about development, we talk about so many different things, like we talk about training, we talk about career development, we talk about internal mobility and all these things. Now the third component, or the third dimension, or the third aspect which comes under the scope of human resource management, is maintenance. So simply see, if you can properly observe here, we are coming in an order. See, we told that this is a scope of human resource management, and this topic is scope of human resource management, and we are telling that the basic meaning of the term scope of human resource management means we are just talking about all the areas or all the aspects that come under the coverage of human resource management. So we told that there are so many different components, so many different dimensions that come under the coverage of human resource management, or that are considered as the scope, as a part of the scope of human resource management. And the first one is acquisition. Within acquisition, we do so many different things as a part of acquiring human resource. Next, we talked about development. Within development, there are so many different things that we do in order which focus on the developmental aspect. Now next thing is maintenance. Now see, first of all, you do acquisition in an organization workforce. Then after acquiring the workforce, you give them training, development and all these things, and then simultaneously you maintain them, and then you control them. So if you want to remember this particular concept, you can you can keep this order in your mind. But generally it's not required that you only go in this order. That means first you have to tell that acquisition is first, next development is second. No, nothing like that. So basically I'm just telling you that if it is hard for you to remember, you can remember in that order. Now coming back to this topic, the third thing that that comes under the coverage of human resource management, or the third area on which human resource management has its coverage, or the third dimension or the third component which is considered as a part of the scope of human resource management, is maintenance. Now maintenance of human resource. Now what are the different things that are done while in the process of maintaining human resource in an organization? Are, we have remuneration, we have motivation, We have health and safety, social security, and all these things, labor compliance, legal compliance. We also look after the industrial relations, that means proper relations are being maintained or not. We also look after performance appraisals as a part of performance management, right? So etc. There are so many different things that we do in the process of maintaining the human resource in an organization, and all these things also come under the scope of human resource management. And the next component that comes under the scope of human resource management is control. Basically, controlling the human resource in your organization. What are the different things that you do in order to control the human resource in your organization are, see, we have HR audits, HR accountings, HRIS, which is human resource information systems, and all these things. So basically we use these different things to control the human resource in the organization. Now this is basically the concept of scope of human resource management. That means when someone asks you the question, what is the scope of human resource management, or when there is this essay question asking you what is the scope of human resource management, then it is simply asking you, telling that what are the different areas that the subject covers, this particular subject human resource management covers. Or it's simple, it's like asking you what are the different topics, or what are the different areas that you work on in this particular subject human resource management. Okay, so that is basically the meaning of the term scope of human resource management. And we can tell that, see, human resource management has its spread on, or its human resource management has its coverage on, or there are so many different things that come under the coverage of human resource management, or there are so many different things that that are the part of human resource management that we do in the process of managing the human resource in an organization. So if you basically categorize all those different things that you do in order to manage your human resource in the organization, you come out with 4 different groups. The first group, or the first dimension, or the first component is acquisition. In acquisition we do, related to acquisition we do so many different things. Next we say that development is also one dimension that comes under the scope of human resource management. And in the process of development we do so many different things, like you do training and all these things. The next thing that comes under the scope of human resource management is maintenance. Okay, next comes the control. So if you want to write a clear detailed answer relating to the scope of human resource management, you have to give out all these things, right? So next we are going to start different functions of human resource management. Now let me give you an interesting thing, a fun fact. See, when some people, when they're asked when they're asked to define the term human resource management, they'll give you a definition which sounds like this. They tell that human resource management is the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the human resource in an organization. Now you would have heard this definition. Now this definition defines the term human resource management, but this definition does not give a clear picture of the term human resource management. What you are doing if you are giving this definition of human resource management means planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the human resource in an organization. When you give out this definition, you are basically giving out only a few things that are involved in human resource management, but you are not giving a complete picture of the human resource management. Here in this definition, by giving this particular definition that we just discussed, here you are basically giving out a part of the functions of human resource management in the form of a definition. Is that definition wrong? No, it is not wrong, but the thing is that particular definition does not give a clear picture. So always remember, when someone asks you a detailed definition of the term human resource management, always try to give the definition that we have discussed in the starting with an example, right? That definition gives you a clear picture of the term human resource management. Now coming back to this topic of functions of human resource management. See, basically human resource management functions are basically classified into 2 groups. The first set of functions are managerial functions, where where you talk about different managerial functions that are performed in human resource management, or while managing the human resource in an organization. That is, here we talk about planning, organizing, directing, controlling, and we also have non-managerial functions. Now when I told that that particular human resource management definition that some people prefer does not give you a complete picture of human resource management, what I meant was, see, if you give that definition telling that human resource management is a process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the human resource in an organization, see what happens. I told you, right, you are missing out so many things that have to be still communicated, right? See, consider that particular definition. Human resource management is the process of planning, organizing, directing, controlling human resource in an organization, right? See, in planning thing, what you do, you basically plan for the workforce requirements, right? In directing, what you do, you direct the employees, towards telling that, you do this particular task, you do this particular task. In this way, you're directing things, okay? Now, there are so many things that happen between these two things, right? See, between planning and between directing, where are you telling that you are going to procure these, or you are going to recruit the employees? You are not covering that part here. That's why I told you, right? If you give this definition of this particular small definition, you are missing out so many different things in the definition of human resource management. That's why, that's why I told you that if anyone asks you the definition of human resource management, always try to give the detailed one that we have discussed in the starting. Coming back to this topic of human resource management functions, see, basically human resource management has so many different functions. All those different functions are categorized, or they are grouped into two groups, which are managerial functions and non-managerial functions. Now let's discuss what are the different functions that come under the managerial part, and what are the different functions that come under the non-managerial part. Okay, now see the functions of human resource management. The functions of human resource management are categorized into two groups: managerial functions and operational functions, which are non-managerial, generally non-managerial functions. Now, each of them are further classified as follows. Managerial functions. In managerial functions, that means what are the different managerial functions when that we take care of in human resource management? We take care of planning the human resource, organizing the human resource, directing the human resource, and controlling the human resource. So these are the managerial functions. Now let's look at the operational functions, or which are basically non-managerial functions. See, under operational functions, you have so many different things which are related to the operations part of the human resource. This, managing of human resource. Here we have procurement, we have development, we have compensation part, we have integration aspect, we have maintenance aspect that we look after while managing the human resource in an organization, right? So these are the operational functions, whereas these are the managerial functions. Now we just discussed that in operational functions, in this group of operational functions, you have so many different concepts like procurement, development, compensation, integration, maintenance, right? That means, when we talk about procurement function, what are the different things that we concentrate on in this procurement function are, we talk about job analysis, we talk about human resource planning, we talk about recruitment, we talk about selection, placement, induction, orientation, transfer, promotion, separation. All these things all these things we concentrate on in the procurement, as a part of the procurement function. Now when we talk about the developmental function, what are the different things that we concentrate on while in the development aspects of the human resource? We concentrate on, performance appraisal, we concentrate on training, we concentrate on development, we concentrate on career planning, etc., right? Now don't get confused that we have not discussed about so many things here. Like, we have not discussed what do we mean by job analysis, we have not discussed what do we mean by performance appraisal and all these things. So each and everything that we are about to discuss in this particular concept of different functions of human resource management will be discussed in the later part of this subject in a very detailed way. Okay, for now just keep this in mind, because once we complete this entire subject, you will definitely easily get all these concepts in your mind as soon as I say functions of human resource management. Okay, now in compensation part, as a part of the compensation function of human resource management, or as a part of the compensation dimension while managing the human resource in an organization, we take care of so many different things. Like, we'll take care of job evaluation, we take care of the wages, we take care of the salaries, the bonus, the incentives, the payroll. All these things we take care of while managing the human resource in an organization in compensation dimension, or in compensation aspect, or as a part of the compensation function. Now when we talk about the integration function, we are just talking about the motivational levels, the relations and all these things, like motivation, grievance handling, collective bargaining, conflict management, discipline, etc. Okay, now while talking about the maintenance part, that means when we are telling that maintenance is also one of the function of human resource management, that means we are telling that, okay, yes, we also do maintenance while concentrating on this human resource management, or while trying to manage the human resource in an organization through so many different things, like looking after the health, safety, welfare measures, looking after the audit, social security, research, etc. So basically, these are the different functions of the subject human, or basically these are the different functions of the concept human resource management. So all the functions of human resource management are generally categorized into two groups. One are called as managerial functions. The second one are called as operational functions, which also are non-managerial functions. In managerial functions, we have planning, we have organizing, we have directing, we have controlling. And when we move on to this operational functions or non-managerial functions, here we talk about so many different functions which are basically non-managerial in nature. That means here we talk about procurement, or we also do procurement, we also do development, we also do look after the compensation, we also do look after the integration, we also do look after the maintenance part. So these are basically the functions of human resource management. Now if you expect, or basically if you get this as an essay question, now if you see, if you just mention all these things, and even if you write single line relating to each and everything, that means planning, when you if you keep the heading of managerial functions, and within managerial functions, number one, planning, and if you write that telling that this aspect or this function, this planning function looks after the human resource planning, or basically about the workforce requirements in an organization. In this way, if you write single line also relating to each and everything here, you will get almost full marks. So basically these are the different functions of human resource management. Now there are so many different things in these functions that we have not discussed yet. We will be discussing in the further parts of the subject, so don't take any tension, or don't worry. Now moving on to the last concept of this today's topic, which is introduction to human resource management, which is called as HR competency model. So now we will be talking about a small model which is called as human resource competency model. See, basically before directly entering into this human resource competency model, we need to understand what do we mean by competency. Basically competency is the ability to do something successfully, okay, in a right way. Okay, now there is also a different meaning for this competency. Now a competency can also be understood as something that makes you unique, something that lets you stand out of the competition. For example, let's take four different manufacturing units, four different manufacturing companies. Let us consider that for the first company, okay, for the first company, the production limit, that means the maximum that they can produce is 10 mobiles per day. Second one also 10 mobiles per day. Third one also 10 mobiles per day. Fourth one has the capacity to produce 20 mobiles per day. Now this particular extra production limit, in certain cases can give an advantage to this particular fourth company, right? So that particular extra production capacity or extra production capability is making it stand out of the competitor side. In this scenario also, you can tell that the production limit or the production capacity is one of the competencies of this particular fourth company. So competency can also be viewed in that way. That means a competency is basically the ability to do something in a perfect way or in a correct way. Or in other scenarios, or in some other scenarios, competency can also be viewed as a quality that lets you stand out of the competition. Okay, now basically there is this model called as HR competency model, which tells us that, see, if you want to maintain the competency in your organization, or if you want to manage the competency of the human resource in an organization, you basically have to concentrate on three different components. That means if you want to create a competency in your organization, or if you want to make your human resource more competent, you have to basically concentrate on three components. The first one is called as personal credibility, where you concentrate on the personal individual characteristics like his trust level, his hardworking nature, his potential. In this way, here we concentrate on the individual characteristics. Now this model tells that, see, if you want to manage the competency of the human resource in your organization, you basically have to concentrate on these three components. The first component is the personal credibility, which focuses on all the individual characteristics. Next, the second component that you have to focus on in order to manage the human resource competency in an organization is HR mastery. That means his particular knowledge on this HR subject. That means, for example, if there is this particular person called as the legal compliance manager. Now if you want to manage his his competency in the organization, you have to first of all look after his personal credibility. That means you have to first focus on his trust levels, his hard working, his potential. In this way, first you have to concentrate on his individual features. Next, you have to concentrate on the second component, which is called as HR mastery. That means his HR knowledge. He's in legal compliance. That means you have to be strong in labor laws and all these things, compliance part and all these things. The third thing is business mastery. Business mastery is basically the knowledge about the entire business of your organization, how your organization functions, what are the different things that your organization performs, and all these things. So basically this is this model. Now see, HR competency model. Competency is the ability to do something successfully or efficiently. Okay, we also told that competency can also in some certain cases can also have a different meaning. Now see, this model tells that, see, in order to manage the competency of human resource in an organization, or it can be human resource competency in an organization, or it can also be your own competence. That means, for example, if I'm willing to pursue a career in human resource, now if I want to improve my competency, or if I want to practice, in order to achieve more competency in this particular human resource aspect, I have to concentrate on, first thing, my personal credibility. That means my trustworthiness, my reliability, my hardworking nature, my dedication, my commitment, and all these things, my personal values, my integrity. In this way, my personal characteristics. Next, I have to have a grip on the HR. Since I am trying to pursue a career in human resource, I have to have a grip on the entire subject matter of the human resource, right? That means my knowledge on my particular field of human resource. Next, I also have to have a knowledge on how the business works. Okay, how this entire HR thing works, how organizations integrate with this HR part. Now you can have a general doubt in that. See, if you want to become competent in an organization in HR aspect, what is the use of knowing how the business works in an organization, or basically how the organization performs its activities, objectives, and all these things? Now why? See, if you know, if you're a legal manager, and if everything about labor complaints or legal complaints and each and everything, and your personal credibility is also strong. Now if you also know about the different things your organization is associated with, or different things that your organization performs, or basically if you also have a very good idea about how your organization performs, then you will be able to integrate your subject matter with your personal credibility in relating to the organization in a more efficient way. That is the reason why business mastery is also considered as an important concept in the process of maintaining the competency or managing the competency in the organization. So this model tells that, if you want to manage the competency of the human resource in an organization, you have to basically concentrate on these three components. Okay, this is the model of competency, which is generally termed as HR competency model. So today we have started this first unit in the first subject, human resource management, which is introduction part, right? We have started by discussing about so many different basic concepts, like what do we mean by human resource management, what is the general meaning of the term human resource management. Then we started with so many different examples. Then we moved on to what is the basic definition, detailed clear explanation, actual definition of human resource management that you have to be thorough with. That thing we covered. Then we also covered with what is the main importance of this subject, human resource management, or why do we need to have a separate subject of human resource management. There also we discussed all these things, right? Then we moved on to different small concepts, like what do we mean by induction, what do we mean by orientation, their importance, what role do they play. Then we moved on to the further part, telling that what are the different areas that come under the coverage of human resource management. That is, we discussed what is the scope of human resource management, and then we also talked about what do we mean by human capital, in a very small explanation. And then we finally moved on to what are the different functions of human resource management. We told that, see, most of the people get confused between the definitions of human resource management, telling that most of the people give this simple definition, but that particular simple definition covers only some aspects of the human resource management. So basically all the things that that are being given in that small definition are basically a part of the functions. So basically we told that, see, human resource management has so many different functions, and all those different functions are grouped into two groups, or classified into two groups, which are managerial functions and operational functions. In managerial functions we have these things, in operational functions we have these particular functions. And at last we talked about a model which talks about how to manage, or in the process of managing the competency in an organization, what are the different components that you have to concentrate on. So basically we talked about that, called as HR competency model. So regarding the basics or fundamentals of the introduction to human resource management, these things will be enough. We will continue with different topics or different aspects relating to human resource management in the next upcoming parts. And finally, I also want to tell that, see, I will be trying to explain each and every concept in a simple way as possible, so everything will be fine, everything will be easy, or everything related to HR is is basically a theoretical concept except some things. So I think we will do good, okay, relating to human resource management or upcoming subjects like human resource development, industrial relations, each and everything. I will put on my effort to give you each and every explanation in as simple way as possible. So let's continue in the next class. Thank you.